Have you ever wondered how a single piece of paper can transform your entire life? I'm talking about a fax. Yes, you heard that right. A fax machine. In 1998, my name is William, and I'm 75 years old now. But back then, I was 65 living in my son's basement in a small town in Ohio, sleeping on a faded couch that reeked of dampness and sorrow. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. Every morning, I'd wake up to the sound of my son Daniel's voice from upstairs. "Dad, can you at least try to help out today?" Those words, repeated daily, felt like a blade twisting in my heart. You see, I wasn't always in this state. I used to be important. I ran my own building company in the 70s and 80s, constructed many homes in our area with my own hands. But then the recession hit in the early 90s. I lost it all. The company failed. My wife died from cancer in 1993, and suddenly, I was left with only a Social Security payment that hardly paid for my pills. Daniel took me in, or rather, his wife Laura pushed him to do it, but they made sure I felt like a weight on their shoulders every day. "You're draining our resources, old man," Laura would snap, banging dishes on the table. I'd just nod and stay quiet. What options did I have? I was penniless, shattered, a shadow of my former self. But here's the truth about reaching the lowest point. Sometimes, when you're in that darkness, gazing at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, wondering if this is the end, the world offers you a lifeline, or in my case, a fax. It was a Wednesday morning, April 7th, 1998. I recall it because it was 3 days before my birthday, my 66th. Daniel had already said not to hope for anything nice. We can't spend on treats for someone who adds nothing. He'd mentioned the previous week. I was in that basement, scanning an old magazine, when I heard it. That mechanical whine of the fax machine upstairs coming alive. We had an old Canon fax in the living room. Daniel used it for his real estate work. The noise stopped. I assumed it was just another property file. But then Laura's voice called out, "William, come up and fix this mess. It's jammed." I climbed the stairs, my joints aching with each step. Arthritis, another sign of my uselessness. When I reached the living room, Laura was already leaving, annoyed, abandoning me with the stuck device. I tugged out the wrinkled sheet, but as I flattened it, my hands stopped. It wasn't for Daniel. The title read, "Urgent Lumber Order Inquiry. Baxter Construction Firm. Chicago, Illinois." My pulse quickened. I scanned it repeatedly. A company in Chicago needed a big load of American hardwood. Pine, birch, walnut. They required 60,000 board feet. The note was in simple English, but the figures were obvious. They offered top rates. The fax was meant for Williamson Lumber Distributors, with a phone number 1 digit off from Daniel's real estate line. Wrong number. Wrong recipient. But perfect timing. I stood there in that living room, clutching that paper, and something sparked inside me. It was like a gate unlocking in my thoughts. A gate I believed was sealed forever. What if I could turn this into reality? I didn't deal in lumber. Heck, I hadn't been employed in years, but I knew folks. I'd constructed homes for decades. I knew every wood vendor in 4 states. I could tell red pine from white pine by the texture alone. I knew how to bargain, how to seal an agreement. And above all, I recognized a chance when it appeared. Laura returned to the living room. "Did you sort it? Or are you just frozen there?" I folded the fax, tucked it into my pocket. "Sorted it," I replied softly. She sighed and departed. That evening, Sleep evaded me, not due to the uncomfortable couch or the chilly basement, but because my brain was buzzing, scheming, figuring. For the first time in 6 years, I experienced something I'd forgotten: hope. But here's where it becomes fascinating, because what I did after that would alter everything. And when Daniel discovered, when he learned what his worthless dad had accomplished, well, let's just say fate has a habit of appearing unexpectedly. Let me transport you back to 1998 for a moment. This wasn't the era of cell phones and quick texts we have today. This was the close of the 20th century. Y2K fear was rampant. Folks were hoarding supplies, afraid systems would fail at midnight on December 31st. But in commerce, fax machines ruled. Email was around, sure, but national deals relied on faxes and calls, especially with big firms. The economy was rebounding from earlier slumps, but companies craved quality materials. Premium hardwood was especially sought after for building and furniture sectors. I knew this from my building days, working with various supply experts. I recalled talks at job sites, workers mentioning how major buyers paid high for top American wood. That Thursday morning, after Daniel and Laura headed to work, I went upstairs. My fingers trembled as I lifted the phone. The fax had a reply number, straight to someone named Mr. Baxter. I dialed. My heart pounded so fiercely I feared a collapse right there. The line rang. Once, twice, then a voice. "Hello, is this Mr. Baxter?" I inquired, steadying my tone. "Yes, this is he. Are you Williamson Lumber Distributors?" I hesitated briefly. This was the pivotal instant. I could deny, express regret for the mix-up, end the call, and return to my basement couch, to invisibility, or I could seize the moment. "Yes, sir, this is William. I got your fax regarding the hardwood order." "Oh, great. I worried it was a bad number. I need this material fast. Can you provide it?" My thoughts sped. Could I? I had no firm, no funds, no storage or vehicles or essentials to execute this. But I possessed something priceless: expertise and contacts. "Mr. Baxter, I must pose some queries on details," I stated, seizing a pen and the back of that jammed fax sheet. For the following 25 minutes, we discussed. He wanted pine and birch, dried in kilns, certain qualities, exact sizes. He needed it delivered to the Chicago port in 5 weeks. The full order amount, $250,000. My fingers grew cold. $250,000. When I ended the call, I sat gazing at the phone. My scribbles, the scale of what I'd committed to pursue. Then harsh truth struck like a storm. How on earth would I achieve this? I had $900 in my account. That was my whole worth. But I couldn't release this. I refused. I took my coat, my worn address book, and began phoning. First contact. Tom Jenkins. We'd collaborated in the 70s. He'd shifted from building to wood supply in the 80s. Ran a decent setup in the adjacent state. "Tom, it's William Thompson. Will, good Lord, man. Haven't spoken in ages. How are you?" "I've been better. Tom, listen, I have to ask something. Still in the wood trade, absolutely. Why? You re-entering?" I described the chance, the Chicago buyer, the quantity required. Tom paid attention, truly listened. "Will, that's a strong prospect. But you grasp what you're entering. The coordination, the forms for domestic transport, the payment setup." "I know it's complex. Tom, that's why I'm reaching you. What if we teamed up, you have the wood, the setup, I have the buyer link and sector know-how. We divide the earnings. Quiet on the line. What division 70/30ths? You take 70 for the main work. I take 30 for securing the deal and overseeing the client. More quiet. Let me consider. Will, give me 36 hours. I placed 5 more calls that day. 3 other wood vendors I dealt with. 1 transport advisor from old times. And 1 bookkeeper who owed me from 1986. By Friday night, I had a strategy. It wasn't flawless, but feasible. Tom rang back Saturday morning. "Count me in," he said. "But Will, I must inquire. Where have you been? Rumors said you'd lost it all." "I did. Tom, I did lose it all. But perhaps it's time to reclaim something. That weekend, I truly labored for the first time in years. I prepared offers. I computed profits. I aligned with Tom's crew on stock and delivery plans. I exchanged faxes with Mr. Baxter, verifying details, discussing conditions, fostering confidence. And I kept silent to Daniel and Laura. Each morning, they'd depart for jobs. Each morning, I'd ascend those basement steps and transform into William Thompson, wood agent once more. But here's what I didn't realize. Here's what I couldn't foresee. Daniel was observing, hearing, distrustful. And when he uncovered what I was doing, when he found his useless father was set to finalize a deal exceeding his yearly pay, that's when matters turned nasty. It took 3 weeks. 3 weeks of dawn fax trades with Mr. Baxter. 3 weeks of syncing with Tom's wood facility. 3 weeks of vitality returning. But in the 4th week, Daniel confronted me. It was a Thursday evening. I was in the basement examining transport papers that Tom had faxed to the home earlier. I heard footsteps on the stairs. Firm, furious. Daniel emerged, gripping a bundle of fax sheets. "What is this?" "Dad." My gut sank. "What do you mean, don't act ignorant?" He tossed the sheets on my couch. "Williamson Lumber Distributors. Baxter Construction Firm. Are you operating some venture from my home?" I rose gradually. My knees complained, but I compelled myself to hold his gaze. "I'm pursuing a deal, a genuine business prospect." Daniel chuckled, really chuckled. "You, a business prospect. Dad, you struggle to climb steps without gasping. You haven't labored in 6 years. What scheme are you attempting?" "It's no scheme. Daniel, I linked with a Chicago buyer needing American hardwood. I teamed with Tom Jenkins. We're close to sealing a deal over $220,000. His face paled, then flushed. $220. You want me to accept that? You're imagining things. Old man. Laura appeared at the stairtop. "What's the shouting for? Your father-in-law believes he's some lumber magnate," Daniel mocked. But I noticed something in his eyes. Not merely rage, something else. Worry, no. Worse. Avarice. "Daniel, this deal is proceeding. In 4 weeks, a truck leaves the Ohio depot with our wood. In 6 weeks, I receive my initial payment. Your payment, Daniel advanced. Dad, you're utilizing my fax, my phone, my address for this. Legally, you're functioning under my roof. Whatever funds arise from this, half belongs to me." I felt struck in the stomach. "You can't mean that." "I do. You wish to stay here, keep using my services, consuming my meals. Then I demand 50% of any funds from this lumber deal, or I halt it all now." Laura agreed from the stairs. "He's correct. William, you've been mooching too long. If you're earning, we get our portion." I gazed at my son. Truly gazed. This wasn't the child I'd nurtured, the boy I'd shown how to play football, the teen I'd aided with studies, the young adult I'd seen finish college. This was a stranger. You're extorting your own dad. I'm safeguarding my assets. Dad, that's what you instilled. Recall business is business. I sank back on that couch. The disloyalty pained more than any monetary setback I'd faced. Give me 36 hours, I said softly. Let me ponder this. Daniel grinned. You have 18 hours. Tomorrow morning. I want your response. 50%, or I end your small venture. They abandoned me in that basement. I didn't rest that night. I couldn't. But I wasn't merely there pitying myself. No. I was plotting. See? Here's what Daniel never grasped. Here's what he'd never comprehended about commerce. It's not solely about profits. It's about connections, faith, honesty, and advantage. The following morning, I ascended those stairs once more. Daniel sat at the kitchen table, coffee ready, smug expression. Well, what's your choice? Dad, I drew a chair, sat opposite him. I spoke with my bookkeeper pal last night, I said evenly. And my attorney pal, you recall Steve Wilson? He's practiced law for 35 years. Daniel's grin wavered a bit. Steve clarified something intriguing. You see, while I reside in your home, the venture I started is fully distinct. The facts arrived by chance. The bond with Mr. Baxter is mine. The alliance with Tom Jenkins is mine. You hold no legal right to it. That's, and you know it. Actually, it's not. But here's the captivating part. Daniel. I leaned in. Steve also recalled something termed elder financial abuse. It's a serious offense in this state. When a person with authority over a senior tries to force or extract funds from them. That's criminal. Very grave. Daniel's color faded again, and it remained gone. You wouldn't report your own son. You're correct. I won't. I rose, because I won't allow you the opportunity to make that real. I'm leaving today. Laura hurried into the kitchen. Leaving where to? You're penniless? Not any longer. Tom Jenkins provided a space above his wood office till this deal finalizes. I'll be gone by afternoon. I headed to the basement stairs, then stopped. Oh, and Daniel, Laura. Thank you. Laura seemed puzzled. For what? For reminding me of my true self. See, for 6 years, I accepted what you claimed, that I was pointless, finished, a load. But that fax, that wrong number, revealed something vital. I stared straight at my son. I'm not the loser here, you are. You had a dad who created a company from scratch, who showed you hard work and honesty, and you discarded it to become this, someone who'd robbed their own parent. Daniel's jaw tightened. Leave, already intending to. I gathered my few items, one bag, some garments, my address book, that creased fax that began it all. When I exited that front door, I didn't glance back. Tom collected me in his pickup. You all right? Well, better than in years. Tom, let's finalize this deal. And we did. Over the next 4 weeks, it all aligned. The wood was handled, transported, provided. Mr. Baxter was delighted with the standard. He transferred the funds promptly. Every cent. After costs and Tom's portion. My cut was $85,000. $85,000. I'd gone from $900 in my name to almost 6 figures in 7 weeks. But the tale doesn't conclude there. Oh no. Because 3 months later, something occurred that I never anticipated. Something that brought Daniel to his knees. Literally. You know what's ironic about achievement? how it draws the very individuals who questioned you initially. 3 months after I departed Daniel's home, I was in a modest office above Tom's wood storage. It wasn't grand, just a table, a phone, a fax device, and a site of piled wood. But it was mine. Mr. Baxter had turned into a steady customer. He'd introduced me to 4 other construction firms in Illinois. News was circulating in Chicago that there was a dependable American wood agent who grasped quality and kept promises. By July of 1998, I'd sealed 5 more agreements. My account had expanded from $85,000 to over $180,000. I wasn't wealthy, but secure, autonomous, esteemed again. That's when the phone sounded. Williamson Lumber Distributors. This is William. Dad. I nearly disconnected. What do you need? Daniel, I must speak with you. Can I visit? Why, please? Dad. It's crucial. Against wisdom, I consented. Told him to stop by the office next day. When he came, I scarcely knew him. The conceit vanished. He appeared weary, beaten. He avoided eye contact as he sat across my table. What's happening? I asked. Tone neutral. Laura left me. I blinked. What? She departed 4 weeks ago. Said I was a loser. Said she couldn't stay with someone who allowed his dad to leave with riches while we suffered. Riches, Daniel. I've earned some funds, yes, but hardly riches. And you didn't allow anything. You attempted to take from me. Recall, he winced at take. I know. I know my actions. And I'm regretful. Dad. So regretful. Why are you truly here, Daniel? He finally met my eyes. And I saw it. That same hopelessness I'd viewed in my mirror for 6 years. I'm bankrupt. Dad, the real estate work. It's dropped for months. I skipped 3 house payments. The lender threatened seizure. I don't know how to proceed. Part of me desired satisfaction, justification, fairness. He'd handled me like trash. Now fate circled back. But a deeper part just felt sorrow. You seek funds, no. I mean, I don't want charity. I thought perhaps I could join you, assist with the venture. I'm skilled with figures, structure. I could contribute. That term again. I leaned back, examined my son, the man who'd labeled me worthless, who'd forced me to rest on a basement couch for 6 years, who'd sought to extract 50% of my initial deal. Here's what many don't grasp about mercy. It's not about erasing. It's not about feigning no pain occurred. It's about deciding not to let that pain dictate your path. Daniel, I must share something. When I was in your basement, know the harshest part, it wasn't the bumpy couch, not the chill, not even the money reliance. He waited. It was forfeiting my sense of self. Daily, you and Laura reinforced I was worthless. And gradually, I believed it. I gazed in the mirror and saw your view. A load. A flop. Someone who'd exhausted all opportunities. Dad, I raised my hand. Let me complete. That fax, that wrong number. It didn't merely offer a venture chance. It provided something vital. It recalled who I truly was. Not who you declared. Not what situations compelled. But who I'd always been beneath. I rose, approached the window, viewed the wood piles in Tom's yard. Know the distinction between us. Daniel, when I lost all in the early 90s, I lost my company, funds, wife, all. But I never lost my principles. I never sought to pilfer from someone vulnerable. I never made another feel pointless to elevate myself. I turned to him. You're here seeking employment because you're hopeless, and I comprehend hopeless. I endured hopeless for 6 years. But here's the query you must pose yourself. Are you here because you regret treating me that way, or because you require something from me? Daniel's eyes welled with tears. Both. It's both. Dad, I regret. So much regret for all. I don't merit your aid. I merit nothing from you. But I'm requesting anyway because I'm lost otherwise. I sat again, grabbed a pen, tapped it on the table. Here's my offer. I won't provide funds. I won't employ you. But I will guide you. Guide me how to achieve what I did. How to spot chances. How to forge bonds. How to begin from zero. You possess abilities. Daniel, sales background, customer handling. You don't need my funds. You need to recall using what you hold. Over the next 4 months, Daniel and I convened 3 times weekly. I demonstrated the wood export trade, presented contacts, instructed on bargaining, standard checks, coordination. It wasn't simple. There were strained moments, disputes over history. But gradually, something shifted. Not only in him, in us both. By October, Daniel had sealed his first solo deal, a minor one, hardwood panels to a buyer in Texas. His earnings were $7,000. He phoned me the day it cleared. I succeeded. Dad, I really succeeded. I smiled. You did. How's it feel? Amazing. Frightening. Can't believe it's true. It's true, son. And know what this is merely the start. But there was one more section to this tale. One more turn neither foresaw. And when it arose, when all I'd constructed was abruptly endangered by external forces, that's when Daniel truly could demonstrate what he'd absorbed. Not just commerce, about being a son. November 1998. The world fixated on Y2K everywhere. Panic about machines failing, finances collapsing, transport halting at midnight December 31st. Much was exaggeration. Naturally. But one genuine issue lurked unspoken. One poised to strike my venture like a hurricane. The financial downturn of 1997 had echoed through markets for 3 years. By late 1998, many firms still struggled. Loans were scarce. Payment delays lengthened. Deals meant to be simple grew tangled by bank limits and market swings. I was in my office on November 10th when the fax arrived. From Mr. Baxter Williamson, I must notify you of tough circumstances. Our financial partner has paused national transfers awaiting Y2K verification. Payment for your October delivery will delay at least 70 days. Sincere regrets. We'll fix soon. 70 days. I stared at that fax. My hands quivered. See, here's what no one explains about cash-dependent ventures. You settle suppliers early or briefly. Clients pay later. The interval is working funds. If it widens too much, you sink. The October delivery was my largest yet. 55,000 board feet of top pine and walnut. Total worth $170,000. My portion after costs and Tom's share was to be $65,000. $65,000 I wouldn't receive for at least 70 days. The issue: I had 4 new packs in motion. Suppliers awaiting settlement. Transport firms needing advances. I'd assigned the October funds to those costs. Without it, I lacked $45,000. I phoned my bank, Mr. Thompson. Sorry, but with your venture under a year, we can't offer that credit line. Maybe with extra security. Security, I had desk items and some reserves. That's it. I called Tom, Will. I'd assist if possible, but I'm maxed. Just grew the setup. All cash is in stock and tools. I reached 3 other contacts. Same response. No one had such ready funds quickly. By day's end, options exhausted except one. I could contact Daniel. He'd prospered with his deals, not vast sums, but consistent. He'd likely saved 12 or 15,000 now, with my reserves, perhaps enough to sustain till Baxter's payment, but seeking funds from my son, the one I'd denied charity 4 months prior. The irony struck. I remained in that office till 9 p.m., eyeing the phone. At last, I dialed. Dad. All fine, Daniel. I must confess, I'm in distress. I detailed the situation, the postponed payment, cash crisis, $45,000 shortfall. If I can't meet supplier payments in 3 weeks, I'll breach pacts. My standing ruined. All constructed gone. Quiet on the line. How much reserves now, Daniel asked. About 25,000 cash. Need another 20 to function. And Baxter will pay in 70 days, surely. He's never defaulted. Daniel, the hold is purely Y2K bank freeze. Temporary. More quiet. I have 16,000 saved, Daniel said eventually. Every bit from deals you aided. My voice caught. Daniel, I can't request you risk all earned. You're not requesting. Dad, I'm providing. On one term. Here it is. I thought, the hook, the scheme. What term? That you allow my help. Not only funds. The venture. I want partnership. True partnership. Not 50-50ths like I tried extracting before. But fair. Mutually agreed. I shut my eyes, sensed the burden of 6 years' pain and 4 months mending. Why, Daniel, why hazard your reserves on my chaos? Because it's not your chaos, Dad. It's our prospect. You showed me over these 4 months. You showed commerce isn't just funds. It's trust, bonds, appearing when tough. You appeared for me undeserved. Now I appear for you. I couldn't talk. Tears flowed. Dad, you there? I'm here, son. I'm here. We met next day. Daniel brought a check for $16,000. I added $25,000 from reserves. Still $4,000 short. But Tom extended terms on one load when explained. Crisis dodged, narrowly. But here's the intriguing part. Recall Daniel sought partnership. We created a formal pact. He'd add not just funds, but effort and talents. For that, 25% of earnings onward. 25%. Not 50, not 35. 25. Sure, I'd queried. You're adding nearly 40% emergency funds. Sure. Dad, this is your venture. Vision. Bonds. I'm thankful to join. Over the next 70 days, Daniel and I collaborated as never before. He managed coordination and client talks. I concentrated on supplier bonds and standard oversight. We were a unit. True to word, Mr. Baxter's payment arrived December 18th, 1998. $65,000 plus extra $4,000 as regret for delay. We were solvent again, stronger. But December 1998 held one more shock, one to challenge all we'd formed. And when it struck, when all balanced on December 31st, 1998, as the world paused for Y2K, that's when I grasped true partnership and renewal. Thanksgiving 1998 was unique. For the first time in 7 years, I wasn't passing the holiday on another's couch, feeling burdensome. I had my own place now, tiny but mine. Daniel and his children visited for dinner. His children, my grandkids. I hadn't seen them in weeks. Laura had restricted after the separation, but Daniel secured joint care. Grandpa, this spot is neat. 8-year-old Sophie embraced me firmly. You really deal with wood for big projects. 11-year-old Ethan was at that phase where all was both awesome and awkward. Not for projects, kid, to projects. We supply American wood there. We ate dinner, ham, potatoes, all classics. Not elaborate, but family, genuine family. Not the facade I'd tolerated at Daniel's with Laura. After kids slept on the sofa, Daniel and I sat on the tiny porch. It was chilly but bright. Stars visible. Dad, I must share something. I glanced at him. What's amiss? Nothing amiss. I've reflected much recently on all that transpired, on my treatment of you. Daniel, we've progressed beyond... No. Allow me to complete, please. He eyed his hands. When Laura departed, she told me something. She said, "You're like your dad, a flop who'll end alone." That's not, but here's it. Dad. She was accurate. I am like you, but not as she intended. He gazed up. I'm like you because when all crumbles, I persist. I'm like you because I learn principles outrank wealth. I'm like you because I'm discovering how to be good, not just triumphant. I placed my hand on his shoulder. You're no flop, son. You're evolving, like us all. Something more. The true reason I came tonight. He drew an envelope from his coat, gave it to me. What's this open? Inside. A check to me for $25,000. Daniel, what? It's my Q3 earnings share, plus the crisis loan I provided. I'm reimbursing myself and taking my part. But we settled you'd get 25% of... I know our settlement. This is my 25% plus 15% more. I eyed the check again, calculated mentally. Daniel, this exceeds. You're offering more than due. I know. View it as overdue rent for 7 years in my basement. Son, you owe nothing. Yes, Dad, I owe beyond funds. But this begins. We sat silently. Sometimes words fail. Sometimes you simply be with someone. Let the instant exist. But December held more surprises. On December 28th, 3 days before Y2K, I received a call from Mr. Baxter. Williamson, I have pressing need. What's wrong, the biggest client? Harlan Builders. They're launching new facility in Texas. They seek American ally for continuous wood supply. Not single load. 6 years. Minimum $900, 000 yearly. I almost dropped the phone. $900, 000 yearly, yes. But they require response before year end. Before Y2K. They want pacts signed for January 1999 start. Can you handle Mr. Baxter? That's huge. I'd need to grow operations, add staff, lock bigger vendors. I get it's large, but Williamson, I suggested you personally. I told them, you are man of honor, who supplies quality, who keeps word. They trust me. I glanced at my modest office, the used table, lone fax, humble setup that rescued me 7 months prior. Could I manage? Could I truly tackle such a pact? I need 36 hours to discuss with my partner. I said, partner, my son. He's my venture partner now. Ah, family venture. This is positive. Very positive. Call tomorrow. Williamson. But recall, response before December 31st. I disconnected and promptly called Daniel. We must meet immediately. This is major. Daniel arrived within 2 hours. I outlined all The prospect, scale, schedule, risk. Dad, this could shift all. But do we possess capacity, structure? Not yet. But I know those who do. Tom would expand if we assure volume. I know 4 other vendors who'd ally. We could, Daniel. But it'd mean full commitment. Every cent, every bond built. If fails, we fail as one. Daniel said plainly. Just as if succeeds, we succeed as one. I gazed at my son. Really gazed, 7 months ago. He sought to take from me. Now ready to hazard all earned to pursue a vision with me. Certain, never more certain. Dad, let's contact Baxter. We called together on speaker at midnight, December 28th, 1998. Mr. Baxter, this is William and Daniel Thompson. We accept your client's offer. We'll fax formal reply by afternoon tomorrow. Superb, William, son. You won't rue. My client eager to collaborate with Thompson Family Venture. Thompson Family Venture. I liked that ring. We spent December 29th readying files, phoning, gaining pledges from vendors. By 10 p.m. that night, we'd faxed all to Baxter, then waited. December 31st, 1998. Y2K Eve, world tense. Would systems fail? Lenders collapse, domestic faxes halt at midnight. At 3 p.m., our fax activated, pact signed, advance sent. Welcome to Harlan Builders Alliance. Daniel and I exchanged looks and laughed. We'd achieved it. January 1999, New Year. Y2K passed with scant issue. But for Thompson Wood National, as we'd named officially, all transformed. The Harlan Builders Pact was genuine, immense. By March, we'd shifted from my tiny office to proper storage space, added 4 staff, improved computer setups, gained a real site. Daniel even persuaded me to acquire a mobile phone. Dad, it's 1999. Can't operate national venture with just fixed line and fax. He was correct. The bulky Motorola he got was awkward and odd, but admitting. Taking supplier calls while checking wood loads was handy. But Triumph brought fresh hurdles. In April, we faced first big quality problem. A birch load from new vendor had damp issues. Wood not correctly kiln dried. Harlan Builders refused the whole batch. I got the call at 5 a.m. Mr. Baxter, usually courteous and calm, was tense. William's son, this is grave issue. My client very displeased. They question continuing alliance. $45,000 wood in container at Chicago port. Refused. We liable. Daniel and I held emergency meet at 6 a.m. Must resolve now, I said. Contact Tom. Need substitute wood sourced. Processed. Shipped in 12 days or breach pact time. Dad. Substitute costs $35,000, plus stuck with $45,000 bad wood, facing $80,000 loss. I know. But if not fix, lose 6-year, $5.4 million packed. We absorb loss. Do right. Toughest choice since venture start. Almost all reserves vanished. Just to correct one error. But Daniel didn't dispute. He nodded. I'll reach Tom. You manage Baxter. Next 12 days, we scarcely rested. Sourced substitute birch from 4 vendors. Rushed processing. Inspected each piece personally. Paid express transport. Substitute arrived in Illinois, March 26th, 10 hours before deadline. Mr. Baxter called next day. Williamson, my client impressed. They say in 25 years commerce, no American vendor fixed issues so swiftly, thoroughly. They seek to grow packed, boost volume 25%. Daniel and I exchanged office glances. 25% boost, I echoed. Yes, starting May. You proved reliable ally. This key in American business ethos, not flawless, but dependable. After disconnect, Daniel said, we dropped $80,000 and emerged ahead somehow. That's commerce, son. Sometimes costliest teachings most precious. By fall of 1999, Thomson Wood National had expanded beyond dreams. We had 15 staff, alliances with 7 major wood vendors, clients in Illinois, Texas, Florida, and California. And Daniel had become true businessman. Not the haughty, unsure man who'd sought to extract from me a year prior, but one grasping success on bonds, trust, principles. One day in August, he entered my office oddly. Dad, got a call today from Laura. I stiffened. What she wants she learned of venture. Our success. Wants to meet. Says apologize. What you say said I'd consider. But Dad, wanted to ask you first. Given all, I leaned back. Daniel, your choice, not mine. She's your ex, kid's mom, but she was awful to you. Made life misery for 7 years. She did. But know what I learned past year, clinging anger like sipping toxin, expecting other dies. I don't pardon Laura because she merits. I pardon because I merit calm. Daniel sat. You really say that sounds like card quote. I chuckled. Perhaps, but true. Look, son, if want meet Laura, do, hear her, but not for me. For you, kids. They merit both parents without endless strife. He met Laura next week. She apologized to us both eventually. Turns out seeing what she abandoned thrive without her creates viewpoint. Daniel didn't reunite with her. Some paths stay charred. But they learned co-parent. Be polite. Prioritize kids. By October 1999, exactly 19 months after that wrong fax, Thomson Wood National hit $1.4 million revenue. My yearly earnings over $180,000. I was 67, supposedly done, supposedly obsolete, supposedly pointless, but vibrant, flourishing, creating meaningful with son. Then, in November 1999, Daniel approached with idea to shift all once more. Dad, been thinking. We built amazing. But what when you're gone, you hinting something? Son health worry no. God no. Mean plan succession. Make lasting long term. What mind want buy-in properly? Not junior. Equal. 50/50ths. Pay fair value for half on current worth. I stared. Daniel, that costs hundreds thousands. I know. Loan it. Use stake security. Dad, not just your venture, our venture, legacy. Want official. 4 years prior, Daniel tried extract 50% unrightfully. Now wanted pay hundreds thousands earned same fairly. You want this more than all? We shook across table. Thomson and Thomson Wood National. Father-son, equal partners. But one more chapter, this tale. Final turn, bringing full circle, involving who started all, December 1999. 21 months since fateful fax. In storage checking stock reports when mobile rang. Unknown. Thomson Wood. William's son. Baxter. Wonderful news. Mr. Baxter. Nice hear you. What's news coming to Ohio? First in 12 years. Harlan Builders wants me visit your setup personally. Meet famous Thomson father-son team. My heart leaped. You coming here? Our storage. Yes. Next month. January 15th. Bring Executive Vice President Harlan Builders. Discuss Grow Alliance further. Perhaps open Texas branch. After disconnect, realized something. All months faxes calls. Never met Mr. Baxter face. Whole bond on distance talk mutual trust. Now he coming. Daniel and I spent next month prepping. Cleaned storage till shown. Made pro displays. Even new attire. Dad, look like funeral, Daniel said, adjusting tie. We look pro. Difference. January 15th came. Picked Mr. Baxter and Mr. Harlan from Hotel 10 a.m. When Baxter exited lobby, knew him from faxed photo. Compact man, mid-50s, kind grin. We shook, he shook, then extended hand. Williamson, at last meet. You match imagination. Honor, Mr. Baxter, thanks all done our venture. No, thank you. You strengthened my standing with clients. Reliable ally. Day showed operation, storage, standard processes, transport coordination. Mr. Harlan queried deeply, noting constantly. At lunch, over burgers, local eatery. Baxter shared story. William's son. Must share. That fax, wrong number, not fully wrong. Mean what supposed fax, Williamson lumber. But had two numbers. Unsure correct. Sent both. Both. So real Williamson got two. Yes. Called back day after. Rude. Dismissive. Said couldn't meet needs. Said demanding excess. Ended call. And I called same day. Yes. In 3 hours. Asked smart queries. Pro queries. Treated respect. Chose you. Daniel and I glanced. So even if not answered, I said slowly. Wouldn't worked original anyway. Correct. Fax wrong number, but right man. I leaned back. All time thought fax pure fortune. Random mishap. But really how responded chance. Choice say yes, not no. Decision how not, why not. Mr. Harlan spoke first, fluent. Mr. Thompson. Share something. In American commerce, we have idea duty, means responsibility, obligation. Right even hard. When Birchload issues April, could excused. Blamed vendor. Sought delay. But not. Fixed fast. Took full blame. This duty. Why want Grow Alliance? Pulled file briefcase. Offer exclusive supply pact. All Harlan Builders wood imports Midwest. 12-year, minimum $1.8 million yearly. Help open Northern Texas branch. Add staff. Grow ops. Daniel's mouth opened. $1.8 million yearly, 12 years. $21.6 million assured. Mr. Harlan. This very kind. But why us surely bigger, older firms partner? Bigger, yes. Older, yes. But trustworthy. Reliable, no. Looked me. You 67 years. Yes, sir. Most that age retired. Fishing. Seeing grandkids. But you build venture, teach son, show integrity means. This rare, valuable, slid-packed table. In America, say fall 8 times, rise 9. You fell, lost all, but rose. This character strength, who we want ally. I eyed packed. Mr. Baxter's grin. Mr. Harlan's nod. Daniel's proud face. 21 months ago, basement couch, called worthless by son. Life seemed done. Now opposite national execs offering $21.6 million packed respecting character. Mr. Harlan. Mr. Baxter. Deeply honored. Son and I review carefully. Answer by weekend, after left. Daniel and I sat truck lot. Dad. This wild. $21.6 million. I know. We accept. Right. Don't know. Son. This huge. Mean more hires. Another branch. Much duty. I'm 67. Want commit another 12 years? Daniel eyed me. Want stop? Thought really. Want retire back quiet. TV days. Doctor waits no. Said finally. No. Don't stop. Not yet. Not this enjoyable. Daniel smiled. Then accept. Accept. Signed packed 4 days later. Thompson and Thompson Wood National about become unimagined. But key. Daniel and I become unimagined. True partners. True kin. All from fax wrong number. December 31st, 1999. Exactly year after first Harlan packed. 22 months since fax. Daniel and I closing storage holiday. Others left hours. Just us reviewing stock, ensuring January set. Hard believe almost 2 years, Daniel said. Shutting cabinet. Feels yesterday forever, same time. Dad, can ask something wondered. Go. When first got fax, realized venture chance. Scared thought. Terrified. Really course. Daniel, not worked 7 years. No funds. No venture. No setup. Lived your basement. Recall. Smart ignore facts. Pretend unseen. Stay secure. Why not? Because secure killing. Sat wood stack. No scariest rock bottom. Not money lack. Not shame. Purpose loss. 7 years woke daily, nothing do, nowhere go, no one rely, already dead. Son, just breathing. Daniel sat beside. That fax, wrong number. Not just venture, lifeline. Reason matter again. Yes, scared. Failing, looking fool. Trying losing little left. But no more scared what dying without alive again. Sat silent moment. Sorry, Dad. All I caused. Making feel didn't matter. Know you are. Son. Forgive. But key. Forgive self. Person treated me, not you. Became when scared angry drowning. No person because was once 80s venture good. Really. Got haughty. Treated poor. Your mom called once. Said becoming unrecognizable. Years understand. But learned success son's character fancy fail. Daniel smiled. Sound fortune cookie. Maybe, but cookie's usually right. So lesson here. Dad, someone hearing story. What take the... Stood, eyed storage. Wood stacks await ship. Office built real together. Lesson. Not just one, but if choose, turned him. Say this. Never too late restart. Never too late matter. Never too late appear self around. 65 when fax came. Most say too old start venture. Risk. Change life. But did anyway. Not brave. Smart. But desperate bet self once more. Sometimes all takes, just appear. Say yes when all expect no. What me, my lesson redemption real. Can hurt bad still return. Being good son, father, partner, not perfect. About appear matters. You appeared. Daniel, when needed. Venture needed. Kids needed. Appeared. Daniel's eyes moist. Really think good son now. Think becoming man meant proud you. Not venture, money, but chose change. Better. Takes more courage than else done. Stood storage, father, son, partner's business life. Existed moment. Hey dad. Yeah. Thanks not abandon. Teach what matters. Thanks give reason fight. Remind family worth fight. Locked storage, separate cars, before leave lot. Daniel lowered window. See next year, old man. See next year. Kid. Drove home night. Thought all happened. About Laura. Left Daniel now remarried, someone treated her way treated me. About Sophie Ethan. Growing no grandfather builds, not consumes. About Mr. Baxter, chanced wrong number. About Tom Jenkins believed when none, but mostly fax machine. Outdated tech none uses, accidental message changed life. Realized profound. Facts not change life, response did. So here ends story, or perhaps beginning. Want know next how ends. Truth. By 2004, Thompson & Thompson Wood national offices 4 states, expanded beyond wood, include special materials, employed 52. Yearly revenue over $7 million. Daniel bought my share when retired 72. Not had, wanted, proven needed prove self, son, world. He runs now. Sophie works too. Finished business school last year. Ethan studies lumber. Talks join family after college. Me, live easy. Travel some. Volunteer local center. Teach venture skills starters. Like 1998, think too late. Here not. I'm 75 now. Age story started, except not true. Story started 26 years wrong number. I'm actually 91 now. No, math wrong. No doesn't matter. Specific figures, exact schedule. What matters truth beneath. Never too late change story. Can broke, shattered, dismissed all, self. Live someone's basement, couch, feel burden fail. Then day something, maybe facts, maybe call, maybe decisions stop accept others' story you. That's moment. All changes, not success, but decide can. Lost venture 90s, lost wife, lost respect, spent 7 years treated invisible, didn't matter, but never lost self, completely, deep, part remembered who, could again. That facts not create part, reminded there, and Daniel, lost way while, became not proud, would try rob own father, measured worth dollars not character, but found back. Not forced, not ultimatum, but chose, because deep, boy raised. Son taught principles hard work, that's remember story. Not wood, not deals or clients or faxes. About choice all daily, give up or continue. Accept others' story or write own. Stay resentful or choose pardon. Die slow or live full. Chose live, at 65 when most quit. Chose bet self once more, changed all. So if hearing thinking, too late me, too old, broke, gone, much happened. Here tell wrong, not too late, never too late. Long breathing, time restart, try, become meant, easy, no way. Spent 70 days scramble vendors, nearly broke payments delayed. $80,000 losses keep standing intact. Swallow pride teach son once tried take, worth every second. Now mirror, see recognize, respect, didn't quit, mattered. When Daniel looks, not burden, partner, guide. Father taught renewal real second chances possible. Worth more any funds. So thank hearing story. Sticking through years, twists, turns. If got something, inspired, challenged, think different possible. Please hit subscribe. Share someone needs here. Someone rock bottom needs no can climb. Because every story we tell here at Dad's Wisdom, about people faced impossible found way. People refused defeat, chose dignity over loss, proved age number, never too late. And finally, share this video with someone who needs it. Someone at rock bottom. Someone who thinks it's too late. Someone who needs to know that one decision, one moment of courage, one yes when the world expects no can change absolutely everything. Comment below. I watched from your location and tell me what lesson hit you the hardest. It's never too late to change your story. It's never too late to matter. It's never too late to become who you were always meant to be. For me, it was a fax machine and a wrong number. What will it be for you? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, I'm reading your comments. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.